Good morning, everybody, and welcome to the Recovery Classroom. My name is Drew. I am an alcoholic, and today I'm a recovering alcoholic, and I cannot be any more grateful. We made the announcement yesterday, if you're local to the Huntington, West Virginia area, and you work within the healthcare industry, regardless of what your job title is, function, capacity, doesn't matter, from a doctor to an office manager. If you working within healthcare and you think you might have a problem with drugs or alcohol, I encourage you to come down this Thursday night to start attending our healthcare support group every Thursday night at 8 o'clock at 5747 East Pea Ridge Road in Huntington. You might recognize that address, by the way. That's the same place where we hold our Friday night crosstalk meeting. Every Friday night at 7 o'clock. It's open to everybody. We want to make these meetings available to all of you guys that are local to this area so you can connect and engage with others so they can share their message of hope, healing, and restoration with you. So speaking of meetings, I was in a meeting last night and I shared something, and it as I'm speaking, it came up, and it reminded myself of something that I'd forgotten I used to do. It's placing unrealistic expectations on individuals. As I shared yesterday, 4 years ago, this past weekend, is when I began that internal dialogue in my head. I was still drinking, but I began having this internal dialogue in my head saying, Drew, something's wrong. You need to make changes. This past weekend, 4 years ago, was when I began the steps, if you will, or the movement towards ultimately pouring myself in to my road of recovery. And whenever I came in the program, came back in the rooms, and I started working on myself, I came to realize the things that Bill Wilson had written in the big book were true about me. See, I didn't have a drinking problem, I had a thinking problem. And my biggest thinking problem I had was I didn't love myself. I hated who I'd become. I had no self-value, no self-esteem, no self-respect. Hell, no self-dignity. I hated the person I'd become. And then on top of that, I hated the fact I'd allowed myself to become that person. My God, I didn't love myself. I didn't know how to love myself. So, since I couldn't feel about me the way that I wanted to feel about me, everybody wants to love themselves, right? Since I couldn't do that, I decided I was going to place an unrealistic expectation on other people. So other people could make me feel about me the way that I couldn't make myself feel about me. I know it sounds a little confusing, so let me give you a different example. Let's say because I hate who I am. I hate myself. I don't love myself. I'm trying to harm myself and hurt myself by pouring booze down my throat. I can't feel about me the way I want to feel about me. So what do? I go off and I do something nice for George. George is a good dude, and I'll do something nice for George. And I'll do something nice for George in the hopes that George will turn around and make me feel good about me, since I can't make myself feel good about me. And so I may do something nice for George, and George says, gee, Drew, thanks. That's a nice gesture. Appreciate that. And George goes on about his business. And then I get pissed off at George. Why? Because George didn't make me feel about me the way that I can't make myself feel about me. I know it sounds confusing, but by God, it's exactly what I did. I would get pissed off at George. Sure, George would be like, gee, Drew, thanks. I appreciate your gesture. You did this for me, and I really appreciate it. And that was it. George would go on. George had no idea I placed this unrealistic expectation on him to make me feel good about myself. He had no clue. Well, how would he? Why would he? I never said anything. I never told George, hey, George, I'm doing this nice gesture for you so you can make me feel good about myself, because I can't feel good about myself. I placed unrealistic expectations on other people. I started hanging my self-value and self-worth on other people because I couldn't hang it on myself, because I didn't know how to love myself. I didn't know how to hang those affirmations on myself, and I tried to hang it on other people. And as a result, I started hating other people. I didn't want to be around other people because I was pissed off at other people. One of my favorite sayings in the room is expectations are resentments under construction. I had an expectation, an unrealistic expectation on George or Sally or Jesse, Raphael, whoever. Had all these unrealistic expectations, I should say, on other people. And whenever they didn't fulfill them, because they didn't know about them, whenever they didn't fulfill those expectations, I got pissed and I became resentful towards them. And then I just didn't want to hang around them at all, which helped to further isolate me from people, which helped to further keep me in my little cubby hole, that cycle of insanity, because nobody wanted to be around me. Nobody could make me feel about me the way I wanted to feel. I couldn't make myself feel about me. So I'd just keep drinking. I would keep isolating. And I would just cycle over and over again, get worse and worse and worse. I want to encourage you today and remind you of this important tidbit, if you will, that was given to me early in my sobriety. Recovery isn't about just getting clean and sober. Recovery is about learning to love yourself enough to where you stop hurting yourself. It's about getting to know who you are as an individual and learning to make yourself feel good about you rather than relying upon other people. So with that being said, that's all the time I've got for today. Thank you guys for letting me come in and share 5 to 10 minutes of your day with you. You guys, keep me sober. I couldn't be any more appreciative. We'll be talking again soon, guys. Remember, you can't get drunk if you don't take that first drink.